Talent is the new internet, and that may seem like a really unusual statement to make. But when I think back to the organizations that I've been involved in implementing significant change and looking at where there's been significant societal change that impacted and disrupted business models, I go back to the dawn of the internet. In the 90s, working with clients that were just starting to take a look at how business models were going to be impacted by this new technology called the internet, we started working with organizations to look to see how they would affect the way that business gets done. Some of the conversations with some leading edge organizations went very smoothly, and they quickly moved to start implementing internet technology in how they dealt with their back-end operations, their customers, their employees. Other organizations would say to consultants like me and others that were in the field at the time, you know what, that internet thing, that's not for us. We're going to opt out of that strategy. Let others do that. We're good with how we currently operate. Today, that seems like such a silly response, but at the time, no one really knew where the internet was going and what it was really going to turn into. So how does this tie back to Challenge Factory and talent today? Well, nobody would dispute that the internet is a critical component of business today. In fact, the business and the technology sectors of bookstores have merged, and you now can't separate business and technology. The CIO is at the right hand of the CEO. But what does it mean when you take a look at talent? Now that we've streamlined the technology, and the technology exists for us to access the right skills at the right time, at the right place, at the right point, at the right price, anywhere in the world, as we start to take a look at not what do we do or how do we do it, but who do we do it with, the talent revolution is just starting. And looking at demographics and the effect of having an extra 20 years of working life expectancy and what that does to patterns in career and talent management. How many times are people going to shift? What's the effect of contract labor? All of these forces that seem confusing and changing all at the same time, to me, having gone through the internet revolution from the inside, feel exactly the same as the kinds of conversations that we had with clients in that era. And so organizations that say to me today, you know, the aging workforce, we're not interested in that. It doesn't affect us in any way. It doesn't affect our industry or our particular sector or our workforce in general. I always think back to the conversations I had with the organizations that didn't recognize early enough that the internet actually was relevant for them. And I know that we're in a similar state. And those organizations that think that they can opt out of demographic change in the workforce and taking a look at what aging workers do for their organizations and the strategic opportunities that they present is like opting out of the internet. They may say that they're going to opt out today, but 5 or 10 years from now, they won't have opted out. They'll be catching up.